Like a bunch of nothing.
In your own like demiurgic prison.
Yeah. No, so I don't know. Hello.
Welcome back to Mystic in the Machine. Today Jake isn't the only one with a cool pair of glasses on. You're the one that's always getting all the compliments, so I thought
About
I
my
would
glasses, so you
turn up the riz.
You try and out peacock me with
I
your
try and out riz you
glasses.
today.
Nice. I think they look good on you.
Do you like them?
Yeah, I think
he
they suit
chose
you.
them actually.
I'm choosing all your clothes now.
Yeah, Jake is
I'm
my
your
Kanye at the moment.
That's how it
He's very
works.
proud of himself. I think people should let their boyfriends dress them.
Well, it's just like
I
all
think it should become a trend.
the last 3 to 4 pieces of clothes that you've got,
Yeah, all of them were things that you chose.
but they're all things that people compliment you on a lot.
Yeah. Which is why I'm letting you choose my outfits from now on. Because I clearly am struggling with my sense of personal style. And Kim Kardashian had the right idea of just letting your boyfriend be the one to curate your wardrobe. And it's working for me so far, so it's
There you
all
go.
good.
There you go.
I look like I'm going to a music festival, I think. And speaking of music festivals, Coachella happened this weekend.
The era of music festivals.
I remember.
I think it's also just like when music was also good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's also just like you're gonna get what you get at this point. So
because we just turned 30, so we've had our 20s, we've had our time, and we were lucky to be around at the very end of like, I guess, the sort of indie kind of wave, and as shitty and as like, you know, derivative of like previous better times as it was, at least it was music that was like made for the dance floor, if you know what I mean.
it was
And for festivals. It was music that was made for festivals and for the dance floor. All of the sort of indie rock, synth pop of that era, all was meant to get people on the dance floor dancing.
Well, now it's just all the music that's on the playlist in the pub on a Friday night for everyone to get drunk to and sort of chant along to.
Pretty much.
And
or it's just vibes, like a vibe of some kind or whatever.
That's kind of modern stuff.
Yeah.
Modern stuff is sort of just a vibe.
Yeah. Well, that back in my early 20s is when I was excited about Coachella, and there genuinely were good bands that played at it, and it had this sort of like...
I was only ever excited about Coachella when I first got into Daft Punk, and I had this like amazing dream of going to Coachella on the year that they returned.
Oh yeah.
Because they played with the Pyramid
stage,
and it was like I think one of the last times they used that stage and like all of this kind of stuff. But then obviously that all went to... They decided to can all of that really cool shit and never perform live again, basically. You know.
There was one year I was in New York City.
Maybe that was when music died. Was when Daft Punk hung up the synthesizers and
perhaps
employed Nile Rodgers to fucking write half the fucking music.
There was one year where I was in New York City and there was this thing called Governor's Ball that was on.
Oh yeah, that's like
that all my friends were excited about, and it was the year that Random Access Memories came out. And everyone was like, it's going to be Daft Punk. They're going to be the headliner type of thing. And I think it ended up being Taylor Swift or something. And everyone was like really disappointed. But I know if that was the case now, people wouldn't be disappointed. It seems like people are less interested in, I guess, sub-pop genres and are more interested in like mainstream pop artists. And that seems to be what's dominating Coachella now. Whereas before it was like a mixture.
I think that there's been like, it's like a twofold thing happening where I see like a lot of stuff. Like I rediscovered an old Vaporwave album recently that is 10 years old.
Yeah. And
it's kind of one of the founding kind of early Vaporwave albums or whatever. But that never really had like a live thing.
Yeah,
right?
No, because it's not really meant for live.
Is it too slow
for
live?
It's too slow. It's not dancey music, it's vibe music. And that's what I mean is there's been this transition from dance music to vibe music. And I miss the days of music that was made for the dance floor.
I would love to see or hear vaporwave on a fucking massive system. It would be fucking incredible.
Yeah, but I think when I think of vaporwave, I think of vibes. I don't think of dancing.
No, but I think that's also kind of half part of it as well. Is that kind of there's no set dressing anymore. It's just kind of you go to somewhere and it looks like the thing, and someone's got a new digital projection on the back that says something. And they play the music. It's like we were saying the other day, because we were in Cyberdog. I got you addressed in Cyberdog.
Yeah.
And if Cyberdog did a rave.
We have to fill people in into what Cyberdog is.
Oh, just Google Cyberdog. It's fucking legendary. It's like a shop in Camden that does all this like cyber goth fucking rave attire. It's really cool. But
I got a cool Matrix dress.
But if they like hosted a rave in the sense, not like at the shop or whatever, but like in the sense that they
basically do that anyway. They have a DJ in there.
They do have a DJ in there sometimes. But if they hosted a rave in the sense that like they worked with the artists that they used with all the sculptures and all the things, and they like dressed up a place to make it look like fucking Zion, basically.
Yeah.
Like that's like half the fucking experience. But and we've got all of this stuff now, and people can do all of this stuff, but just like nobody does it.
Well,
because it's just like, why?
Let's look at some of the highlights from Coachella. Bear in mind that people paid obscene amount of money to like wait in the cold, to shit in buckets or whatever it is.
Oh wait, I've got to do it on the OBS as well, haven't I?
Basically see this.
So you don't have to endure it yourself. First, she entered on this giant spider thing, which then continued to dance around the stage slowly and awkwardly.
This is Grimes, by the way.
She posted this on X a few days before her set, which is kind of funny. This mix was actually pretty cool. To start, there are a lot of people who will be disappointed that she was DJing and not singing. She never announced it was specifically a DJ set. But then this is where it starts to go south. Have a listen.
Okay, I hate to do this. All my tracks are... This is insane. All my tracks are double the tempo.
Oh, it's not getting the audio from the fucking
is it
OBS.
not getting the audio from OBS?
I just thought I'd double check, and it's not.
Oh,
and for some
fuck.
reason,
Sorry,
the web page
guys.
is also fucking,
Sorry, guys.
and the web page is frozen. But basically,
anyway,
Grimes had like a fucking absolutely tragic fucking set. Like one of the worst DJ sets I've ever seen in my life.
She just
and
sort of, lisped and winged her way through it.
It's interesting as well, because to me, like, she came up when I was studying music production technology in college. And so she was actually used as an example in our Ableton lesson or whatever of like, look, this is an artist that's performing electronic music, not just behind a synth, like playing a line or whatever, but actually using this kind of new technology and devices and all this stuff to perform electronic music. And that like is kind of half of what gave Grimes any credibility in my eyes whatsoever. And she's kind of lost and dropped all of that seemingly over the 10 years or whatever that she's become super famous and stuff.
Well,
and she basically said within this set that she's doing complicated math in her head because she has to divide a 3-digit number in half.
Yeah.
And that she also is using really complicated technology, which is DJ software, which has been around for, I would say, arguably about 20 years.
What are you talking about, Jake? She's a woman in STEM, okay?
I don't think she is.
She fucked Elon Musk and she knows how to operate DJ decks. Like, she's a woman in STEM.
So the STEM bit is sexually transmitted.
It's sexually transmitted.
Sexually transmitted STEM. I don't buy it. I think it's terrible. And I think there's like, and the reason I say that as well is I think there's some amount of kind of like arrogance about her as well, where she sort of like hasn't done any of this stuff, will get booked at Coachella, and then is still just like, no, don't worry, I won't pre-record my set. like a lot of people do. A lot of people do, and maybe throw it under the bus slightly, but a lot of female DJs specifically do.
Oh, here it goes.
Okay.
Here it goes. And that's why I'm mad at her.
So-
I'm gonna go on my rant in a minute, but finish yours.
like,
finish yours.
She should have just done a pre-recorded set and left it at that. But she still thinks that she's this like tech wizard person, and she can't even do a really basic fucking DJ set on the most basic gear now, when she used to be really fucking complex and do all this extra shit. So my estimation of Grimes went from a 1 to like a fucking -9
well,
after seeing that, especially as someone that's trying to build an electronic set myself at the moment as well. It was just like, holy shit, I can't believe that this gets booked at Coachella.
well. It's because she's Elon Musk's Nepo baby wife, which is why, you know, she gets booked at Coachella. I have a feeling if she hadn't, like, you know, had his baby and sort of briefly dated him and got that child support bag, she would have probably tried harder as an artist. Like, I actually, let's give her flowers before I tear her apart, okay?
She had one track.
No, she didn't have one track. I genuinely was a fan when Grimes first came on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was incredible. I loved her, you know, first album, and you know, all the art ho girls who were at art school were like obsessed with Grimes when she came out. It was just like the thing, and it was because she was sort of like honing into all of the aesthetics that we kind of appreciated, from like witchy stuff to anime to all sorts of stuff. So she kind of like, you know, was a breath of fresh air in that sense. And she was also technically competent. So it was inspiring as a woman to see a technically competent woman doing her thing on her own. But like as soon as like the Elon Musk thing happened, she can kind of rest on her laurels. Like she can give us 10%.
Not even 10%.
She can give us 10% because she's now like a Nepo baby wife.
It was one of the most appalling showcases I've ever seen,
and also
at the largest music festival in the world.
The other reason I dislike her as well is because she betrayed the Butlerian Jihad and joined forces with the satanic techno fucking demons. So like she has like sinned spiritually in that sense. She sinned spiritually in that sense. So she's no longer a sister. She's betrayed the sisterhood. And yeah, I don't vibe. And I think if I had paid to see that and waited to see that, I would have been really like pissed off.
Well, I've been to big festivals and been disappointed by massive artists before. Like it's and it sucks as well, especially when you're a big fan. Like I remember I went to see Soundgarden headline Download in 2012.
That's fucking dope. Dude.
That was one of the first UK shows in like 20 years.
Yeah.
So everybody was like fucking hyped to see Soundgarden close out Download. It was going to be fucking amazing. And I think they were all, apart from the drummer maybe, all fucking wasted.
Wow.
It sounded, or the sound guy was fucking wasted. Like either one. Like I'm not sure. I think it was a bit of both, if I'm honest, because I saw some super fucking sloppy performances, and then it also just sounded just cacophonous and terrible. And I was so gutted because it's also the end of the festival, so you're like, oh, it's last band, and then I'm going home, or like I'm sleeping and going home, whatever the fuck it is. We were partying and going home. And the final one was a fucking massive letdown.
Oh no.
It sucks.
It's like when we saw Death Grips, remember? And I was like hyping it up. I was like, you're gonna, because I remember I was like really into them. And then you were like, this is fake and gay. Like, I don't like it. And I was like, no, dude, wait till you see them live. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be great.
The thing is,
and then we were at Field Day Festival and they were like in a tent. And I like dragged you into it. And there were like all these fights going on. And someone had like a broken leg. And then they played this awful, terrible... It was like they were trying to be bad on purpose.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
I think like that kind of culture and the sort of fan base that they have and how up Anthony Fantano is up their arse and shit. Like all of it just gives me the ick about them. Like,
it gives you the ick.
Creatively. If I listen to
I like them.
If I listened to a few of their songs, if I had heard them in a vacuum and I wasn't aware of any of that other stuff, I'd be like, oh shit, man, this is a fucking vibe. This is great.
Yeah.
But then because all of this other stuff paints the context for them, and then I've also seen them do that,
Yeah.
where they get booked at a really cool festival like Field Day.
Field Day, yeah,
which is
yeah.
like, it is kind of like a tastemakery, like cool festival with like, kind of not even sub pop, but like indie, like cool stuff going on. Like, Aphex Twin was fucking headlining. It was fucking sick. And then they they get a gig there and purposefully make it sound terrible.
Yeah.
I don't understand the logic with that at all.
Well, I mean,
Like,
it just seems to have that, like, we hit that little sweet spot, and it seems to have just gone completely downhill from there. Because from what I saw from Coachella, it was like a complete travesty. Of course, the like girlies and the gays are like fawning over Ozempic, Lana Del Rey.
That's terrible.
She's lost the weight.
She's lost the lasagna.
She's lost the lasagna. So now the gays and the girlies are happy. I think she looked beautiful.
She quit Waffle House.
She quit Waffle House. I think she looked beautiful. But if you actually watch the performance, she just complains the whole time about how the mic isn't working as she like tries to croon, like fake croon through this like awful set. And again, it's like, why would anyone pay and wait to see this?
Mm-hmm.
This is terrible. You're not here for the music. You're here for the aesthetic and like the vibe. It's clear that no one actually cares about the music. And like, I'm so disappointed in the artists from the era when I was in my 20s, because a lot of them are obviously like at Coachella now, and like, it's just so cringe. It's so sad.
It is. Sorry, I'm just seeing if Grimes had like a new album or something, or if there's any actual kind of like.
I gave up after Visions.
Geddy
like,
Primes. So yeah, she did actually have a new album this year.
Oh my god, look at you, Geddy. Look at you. You made a Dune reference. I fucking hate her.
Jesus Christ.
She's not real. Grimes is not real.
I mean, this is
okay?
this is
She's an algorithm.
She's
literally not real.
This is a minimalist as fuck, bro. This is like a whole album of 10 songs that clocks in just under 25 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not even sure. I mean, they're all like around 2 minutes long. That's fucking crazy.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, another sad development as well was Damon Albarn. Oh gosh, this one hurt my heart, big time. Because I love him, I really do.
Damon's been mid for a long time.
Don't break my heart.
Let's be honest.
Don't break my heart. Don't hurt me.
The album that we saw them on the tour for, that was okay. There was some good tracks on that album. It wasn't like Plastic Beach.
I liked Andromeda.
It wasn't.
And the reason why
Demon Days.
No, but the reason why we liked the show we went to see is because they mostly played songs from Plastic Beach.
Exactly.
And the Damon Albarn that I love and cherish is Gorillaz Damon Albarn, because that's what I grew up with. I was Blur is a bit before my time, and
it's a bit lame,
it's
dude.
lame. It's not
For
good.
Rock music.
It was like Blair era Britpop.
Like I remember, I was working at this fucking tech company.
Lame shit.
And like we used to do playbacks and shit for all of these album releases and stuff, and I remember everybody losing their shit about like doing a Blur one, and I was really like, Blur, really?
Really?
Like they're still big. And they're like, they sold at Wembley fucking twice a week ago. It's like, that surprises me, if I'm honest. Like I thought they were really not.
They're kind of mid.
big.
Yeah, they're not that. But then that's the thing is, I think if he had done a Gorillaz performance at Coachella, it would have probably gone down better.
Way better.
But instead, he did a Blur. He got back with Blur.
They booked
And that
Blur.
they're even
it's not that they booked Gorillaz, they booked Blur. It's not that they booked Damon Albarn and then he decides like, oh, I fancy doing a Blur set, or I fancy doing a Gorillaz set.
Blur is even further away from us younger millennials and Gen Z. So, and Gorillaz is closer to us, so it would have made more sense for them. Because the performance is sad. Can we show them? Like, he's begging people to sing along.
We can try.
And seeing someone like him reduced to that was really painful for me.
Let's see look, when I
and he looks like a dad. I don't know. The dad bod it's not hitting like it used to. It like upset me a little bit.
Hang on a second. Let me
Considering he's like, one of my oldest crushes. Like, it's just sad.
It's just sad. It is very sad.
Can we share our thingy? Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties.
I mean, we should be able to, but it's not flipping over. So
That's
just give
really
me
annoying.
Give me a second.
I'll look at the chat while you try to figure this out. Sorry, someone says Elon sabotaged her. Quite possibly. I hear they have beef, and like he kidnapped their baby.
Sabotaged her. I don't think so. I think everything wrong with that woman is all around her own fucking ego and bullshit. It has nothing to do with anything.
I think she's a conformist.
Because she clearly had to work hard and like develop some sort of talent and skill, and then she was offered some sort of fucking easy life,
Illuminati life,
easy
and
Illuminati
like,
life.
she took
and
it.
Just was like, yeah, fucking sick. Let's
Yeah.
go.
It's
Right, let me see if this works quickly. Hang on, then we'll do some more chat.
Yeah.
You can do it better than that.
There you go.
Oh my god.
I mean,
Oh my god.
I mean,
He said, "Oh my god, what is on the screen right now?"
fucking chicken fillet or some shit that loaded up afterwards. But
It was like a veiny cock. Oh my god, are they allowed
honestly,
to put things like that on TikTok?
it wasn't a dick. It was a chicken fillet.
Oh my
it was a bit
God.
of chicken. It was like a cooking video. Or
Are you
something.
sure it wasn't a fucking veiny cock?
I'm 100% sure.
Okay.
But I mean, dude, they sounded terrible.
yeah, they did.
It sounds
absolutely
terrible. Like
fucking awful.
if that's even a slightly decent, half decent recording, which it looks like it's the official live stream footage of Coachella.
Yeah.
So I would assume that's kind of the best audio capture you're gonna get from that kind of thing.
I think they're kind of taking the piss a little bit as well.
I don't know.
I think that because I think part of like when we were talking about death grips and stuff, I think part of it was them being antagonistic towards the field day audience, which is kind of similar to the Coachella audience of like London.
I don't think it is similar.
hipsters,
Coachella is
blah,
so
blah,
much
blah.
more expensive.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, it's like
But just through that merit alone,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is segregating to so much more of the population. And so the filtering of the kind of dickheads that you're going to get is going to be more highly concentrated at somewhere like Coachella than it is going to be at field day.
True.
Field day is way more accessible.
Yeah, maybe. But what I'm saying is maybe Damon was trying to like fob him off a bit.
I don't
he's
think
like,
so.
"Fuck
His
you."
vocal performance sounded fucking shocking. And he's also, think of your fucking crowd, dude. You're playing to an American crowd for Britpop,
Yeah.
which is already like a weird
Yeah.
booking.
Yeah,
and
it's niche. There are Americans
you're-
that like Britpop, but it's
You're
niche.
kind of expecting them all to know all of the lyrics to Britpop,
Yeah.
like 90s Britpop.
Yeah.
I think that you're really overestimating the kind of musical intelligence of the Coachella audience. I mean, there is a very famous recording of when Aphex Twin played, of that chick.
Oh yeah, that chick that
being
was like,
like, "Oh
I
my
love the
God.
Aphex Twins.
It's kind of like Diplo, but like way weirder.
Oh my god, no.
So that's what you're working with,
Oh,
Damon.
man.
And then you threw a hissy fit on stage about it,
I
which
know
I
it's
think
so
is
beneath
really
him.
like
It's
crazy.
so beneath him. It was
Like-
pretty tragic. I feel like Britain's having a really rough time of it at the moment.
I think it's just the energy in general. There's like a weird energy with creative stuff at the moment,
Yeah.
and sort of people's. I think it is. I think it.
The death throes of pop. It literally
Not
was
even
all
death
what
throes of
all,
pop,
Coach-
it's-
all Coachella literally was like fucking nepo babies giving us 10%. And this is the future. This is the future of like these sorts of music festivals. Is there's going to be delusional nepo babies giving us 10% and aging rock stars throwing hissy fits. And if you want to fucking pay like $1,000 for that and like piss in a bucket, by all means, go ahead. But I'm glad I'm in my 30s now. I feel like those days I had fun doing that shit in my 20s, and I have no interest in doing that kind of festival anymore. I'll do like a niche festival or like a weird psytrance thing in the forest or whatever the fuck. But I'm not gonna go to like fucking field day or
if there's glamping
if there's glamping
with your own shower and toilet.
with my own shower and toilet, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the festival experience.
I'm not like a dirty hippie. I'm a clean girl hippie.
You couldn't be a dirty hippie just for one weekend.
I could try. I think I could try. It
If I found like
depends.
a techno festival in the forest in Germany or
If you
something
get
like
me
that.
on enough drugs, then yes,
That's kind of the
I
whole
can
point,
overlook
though.
the.
But I think this all comes around to what I think is the whole fucking problem. If I'm honest, it's like it is like a clean and sober culture
Yeah.
and fucking bullshit fucking thing where it is to be bothered by the visceralness of experience. And so even in the cinema they turn the movie down.
Yeah.
It's mastered to be blowing your fucking rocks off and whoa fuck and like, you know, to give you that impact. And they turn it down
to make everything as sanitary and as inoffensive as possible for everybody. And it's the same thing with these music festivals. Everyone's checking your asshole before you're going inside. You know, there's all this health and safety bullshit. It's like, you know, very curated, very corporate. Everything's incredibly expensive.
I mean, to be fair, even at the Jungle Rave I went to the other weekend, they did definitely. The dog like was smelling me and everything, so they checked me like pretty hard. For drugs and stuff. Yeah, like they searched me probably about 3 times.
Really?
3 different people searched me.
In Bristol?
Yeah, but it's also just kind of like they have to do.
That is shocking.
They have to do that.
What is going on with the world?
They have to do that for due diligence and to not get shut down and for whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
But then if you're a smart ravey bear, you know,
Jakey Bear, the Ravey Bear.
you can fucking either still
Did
find.
you put it in your butthole?
If you put drugs in your butt, they're still going. That's still safe. It might smell. The packet might smell, but them drugs are still consumable.
I'm never ever gonna take your butt.
The old-fashioned way.
Ever.
The old-fashioned way
I
is
really
always
hope
good.
you've not been doing that.
I haven't been doing that.
I really,
but what you do,
I really hope.
but what you do is you just take your fucking drugs before you go in.
Yeah, but then what if you come up before you get
No,
in
no,
and
you
it's like
take it-
really
no, no,
obvious?
no,
That's
no.
happened to me many times.
I was staying literally.
And I've gotten in trouble. I've wasted money and not gotten in before, like all sorts
Every
of things.
time I've ever been not let in, it's because I've had my grinder on me or I've had weed on me that has smelled in some capacity and they've smelled it and found it and fucking gone like, that's it then, mate, see ya. And you're like, well, fuck. That's the genius of party drugs is that, you know, if it's not powders, just fucking bosh them before you go in.
True.
And you're sorted.
Very true. Very true. Well, yeah,
Easy
I
game.
know. Music feels like it's in a very dark, sad place at the moment.
I think it's not just music though. And I think it's not. It's not that music's in a sad place. It's our relationship to music. Our relationship to music is changing and has changed, and I think people are kind of unaware of that in a way, and so we still do the dog and pony show of the fucking music festivals and all the old things that were sort of staples of that.
Yeah.
But actually, like, no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Oscars at this point.
Yeah.
Like, no one gives a shit.
No one fucking cares anymore.
Like,
even the people that are performing don't give a fucking shit anymore.
The amount of people that you would meet that music would be a passion of theirs or a big part of their lives, I would say was like a really big number of people up until, you know, probably the middle stages of the internet.
Yeah.
Web 2.0 as the kids call it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, you just had people were engaged with less things.
Yeah.
There was less globalization and all this other stuff, so that you were less engaged with even just like, you know, fucking anime, like all sorts of shit now is just like so fucking huge, and it takes up so much more of an interest of people than what I think would take music.
Yeah,
or gaming,
there's way
and all
more
sorts
to
of
do
things.
now, whereas music occupied like a really special place as entertainment.
Even just
whereas
being,
now it's just seen as like a fucking...
even just being on social media.
Yeah.
When you see some of the documentaries and people like talking about that shit, people are like on that shit for 6 hours a day or some shit like that, 6 to 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like that's insane to me.
Completely bonkers.
But I know it's not like I listen to music for 6 to 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
But someone will be on social media for 6 to 8
hours a day. It's fucking crazy.
I don't even game for 6 to 8 hours a day. I wish I could game for 6 to 8 hours a day.
Oh my god! Look, let's read some of these chats. Hang on, let me.
So yeah, our relationship to music has changed, and we haven't adjusted to that yet.
No.
And that's my main rationale, and there's all this big
Jake's
money.
thesis.
There's all this big money that is already invested in the music industry that will make all of these plants and all of these pop stars and all of these fucking shit artists that nobody has a fucking remote interest in.
People
because it's
do.
slop.
People love these fucking plants.
I don't think so.
But they're not interested in the music. It's like there's a whole thing going on right now with female rap where the actual music isn't doing well, but people are more interested in the image of these female rappers and like how they sort of like portray themselves. So a lot of the time these
Jay George says you're looking very cute.
Oh, thank you very much. That's kind of you. What else is being said in the chat?
I saw some bits of the Tyler performance. That was pretty good. Yeah. I would expect it to be Tyler's like one of the kind
few,
of
like,
I would say
good
he's the last great rapper.
Yeah.
Like I think he kind of died after
Yeah.
that whole group
Odd
of
Future
dudes, you know?
kind of, yeah.
The 06 Daft Punk performance was biblical. Yes.
It truly was.
Yes, it was.
I feel like I'm sad I was too young to have experienced that. I'm on the shit end of the millennial spectrum, sadly.
Sexually transmitted engineering and mathematics.
If only like, you know, these predominantly male fields were sexually transmitted.
The least expensive Coachella tickets are $500 plus fees. If I'm paying that type of money, I'm hoping to see Jimi Hendrix and Miles Davis reincarnated jamming together. Well, they did do the whole Tupac hologram thing, and everyone was kind of suspecting that might be more of a thing, and I'm not sure.
Well,
if it was
actually,
kind of
they had that Japanese hologram pop star this year.
Oh, yeah,
But they
yeah,
didn't even
yeah.
do the hologram. They had it on a fucking screen.
Oh.
Which is like how fucking low effort this whole thing was.
I mean, they couldn't send the box.
They couldn't send the box over. They fucking literally had it on a screen.
They couldn't send. What is it? They couldn't do it in the desert.
It's like really sad. It's really sad that they paid for that.
Frank Ocean's performance was a massive letdown too. Everyone loves.
Oh
that
yeah,
guy.
I remember. Everyone was like
I
upset about
think
Frank Ocean's
Frank Ocean
performance
is,
last year.
Fucking massively overrated.
Don't say that. I
What?
like Frank Ocean. I
Nah.
like Frank Ocean. Anything else?
How about a reading from J.G. Ballard's Vermilion Sands or homage? What? That's a random comment. The only Britpop that really interests me is Oasis, and that's mostly for the beefs. Lol. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
the drama.
The
and
drama.
The kind of new reality kind of
Yeah.
show shit that happens around the two
Yeah.
brothers, exactly.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny has a whole glossy magazine devoted just to him. Who is Bad Bunny anyway?
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
Good question,
Good
bro.
question,
No
bro.
fucking idea. But yeah, I think it is. I think that our relationship with music has totally fucking changed,
Yeah.
and it is sort of people aping styles, and a lot of people kind of talk about the quality of lyrics and all sorts of these other things that are kind of indicators of stuff. There was one of these new I don't know if they were Disney or Nickelodeon kid. Oh no, they were on that pageant show for kids or whatever it was.
Jojo Siwa.
Jojo Siwa
Oh yeah.
has like done the album where she's now a bad girl or whatever, and
Oh, it's
literally
so
a
sad.
bunch of people made the predictions before she released it, and everything they predicted was exactly it. And it was just as cringe as everyone thought it was going to be,
no.
and the lyrics were just it's just terrible. I don't think
Oh
that
my
Miley
God.
Cyrus's fucking Wrecking Ball was exactly like high art or the pinnacle of lyricism, but it's been done before.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
been done by someone more famous and with more cultural
But
impact
that's
than
the
you.
sign of somebody who doesn't have an identity and who's having a bit of a public breakdown. And yeah.
Do you
it's-
think
it's
so?
sad. Yeah, yeah.
I just
Because she's been on TV since she was a child, and like again, like we talked about in our what's it called, our last episode. You know, a lot of these child entertainers are stuck paying the entire family mortgage, and they're like the most important person in their entire family, and like, you know, she doesn't. There's a clear lack of perspective there. That's like abnormal, which is why I find it mean to make fun of her, because she's not on planet Earth, clearly.
No, but
She's
I
not
don't know.
well.
I don't think people are as invested in music as they used to be.
No,
and there are
it's
like
not.
people like me that will go out and seek out like specific stuff and all
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But like if you're going somewhere where there is music, it is like going to be a pretty. Don't expect much, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad.
Don't
It's
expect
sad.
much.
Well, moving on to our next topic for the evening. The Wifejack meme has taken the internet by storm. And also unsettled a bunch of people. I thought Wojacks were a thing of the past. But they still clearly seem to be.
There's a new Wifejack every day.
There are new ones every day. They don't seem to have the same. I thought they wouldn't have the same mimetic impact, but this made people freak out. Like, as you can see, the caption is, "Do men realize the psychic damage they've unleashed? Every woman on Twitter is overanalyzing these, trying to figure out if they pattern match this woman, stressing over whether it's good or bad." And I think that's really sad because that's kind of what Wojacks are. They're sort of types, stereotypes.
Yeah.
And I feel like
I mean,
the more online you are, the more you start seeing yourself and other people as types.
Yeah.
And I remember in my Jung video on my channel, my Jung video, I talk about how types erase like people's distinctness, and that's why people are terrified of being typed. There's actually something kind of violent about being typed and somewhat destructive in a way. And there's this tremendous anxiety about falling into a quote unquote type that you saw immediately when this like ambiguous Wojak that nobody could understand came out of nowhere, and automatically people were like analyzing themselves, thinking it was like an attack on them, hoping it wasn't. And like, I don't know, it's sad to me that like people are so mimetically compromised in that way, I guess. And that's the effect that this sort of thing is having on people.
I think it's that thing of like, if you're in that space and you're sort of like looking at that kind of stuff too much, that will naturally sort of like infest your brain, and so then you start to see everybody like that, and then yourself like that, and then when someone shares a new Wojak that reflects you in some way, you get ultra upset, and you're like, oh,
But that's the thing, is you erase other people's distinctness. Is Kyle here? Is that why you're fidgeting around?
Oh, I mean, I was waiting for him to text back. I'm supposed to.
Sorry,
Okay,
Jake has to pick up marijuana. Sorry, what was I saying? You erase the distinctness of others, and you also erase your own distinctness. There are people who like literally try to curate themselves mimetically, and you're erasing your distinctness if you do that. And when you view people through the lens of memes, which a lot of people do, a lot of very online people do, you're erasing like their distinctness. So I can see why people would have some discomfort with that, or feel a sense of fear whenever a new Wojak emerges, because it might just be describing me. And it's like, I don't know.
It's seen as like someone attacking.
Like,
it's seen as like an aggressive thing.
Yeah.
Like if someone shared this because they've interacted with me and then seen this Wojak and then shared it passive aggressively. To like, without, not tagging me on it or anything, but it's someone that you've interacted with or something like that. So it's like a catty, passive aggressive way.
But it's like contributing to this like spiritual sickness, because it's making people stilted in the way they interact. I know that I'm far less willing to post these days. The internet doesn't seem like a place where it's like pleasant to, or where you're not going to be subject to this sort of deconstruction, even if you're not trying to invite it. And it is a very horrible thing to have your distinctness erased in favor of like the meme. And these memes are so fucking dominant that if you don't like try to fit into one, you're almost illegible to people these days. And it's all about legibility. There's an element of illegibility, I guess, that like I guess keeps you your mystique in that sense. And once someone's able to put you into one of these types, your mystique is gone. So like it has like an annihilating effect that I find quite frightening. So I can understand why people are concerned about it or whatever. But do you think it's weak to be affected by it? Do you think it's weak-minded, or do you think it's like a...
I think it's a sign that you need to get outside a little bit more.
But there are lots of people who are really online and who like this woman will spend hours freaking out about...
Well, they should probably get like a proper hobby or something instead of you know, whatever. Oh, whoopsie.
Do you think this is just like a feature of the online environment, and that it's just going to get progressively worse in terms of these types are going to get more complex, or do you think that it's something that will eventually kind of dissipate?
There will always be a new Wojak, because there'll always be a new pattern of behavior, or like pattern of speech, or way of dressing, or any kind of other signifier that someone then typifies and either ridicules or you know, puts on a pedestal or something.
That's true.
So,
that's very true. That's very true. Like I showed you that the trad wife, trad husband one. Hang on, let me send that to you so that we can pull that up. We can see how many we tick off each of the lists. Hang on.
oh yeah, the thing we
Yes.
was looking at in the park the other day.
Yes. Hang on 2 seconds. Yeah. Here is this there we go. I sent it to you. Here's this let's do the ideal man. The ideal man first. Or do you want to do the ideal woman first?
So ideal woman
Okay, here we go.
first.
Okay.
So yeah, there we go. That's what everybody wants these days.
This is the
apparently.
idea of pedestaling. This is the ideal. Okay, so didn't go to university. Failed there already.
Virgin.
Did too much book learning. Virgin. Definite fail. Homeschools her children. I don't have the patience or temperament to do that. So
makes her own sourdough bread.
Definitely not.
Fail.
Definitely.
Hang on, let me pull it up so I can see what else is it. Doesn't work outside of the house. Tick. Ding, ding,
yeah.
ding.
I
ding,
work
ding,
from
ding.
home, so
No tattoos. Ding, ding, ding.
no tattoos
ding,
now.
ding, ding.
I have plans, though.
Sexually available.
Yes.
Ding, ding, ding. Submissive.
Definitely not.
Big fail on that one.
Big fail.
Loves Jesus. Ding, ding, ding.
I do love Jesus.
Wants at least 4 children.
Absolutely not.
A semi-ding.
No.
Half a ding.
I want one child.
A quarter
if
of
I
a
have
ding.
children at all, I want one baby.
A quarter of a ding.
No, definitely not. Okay, let's see the man then.
So you got what? How many points?
Like, hang
You
on.
got 1.
All the
2,
naughty ones,
You got
except for loves Jesus.
1 point, 2 points, 3 points,
Yeah,
3 points.
3 points.
Okay.
All right, your turn.
My turn. There we
Has
go.
no female friends.
Tick.
Tick.
Averts his eyes from other women.
Not tick.
Big-
That's not.
it's a big
That's not a
tick.
tick at all.
It's a big tick.
I see you all the time. You're a big rubbernecker.
Dresses formally. Tick.
You don't fucking dress
Look at this,
formally.
dude. Look at this. I've got dragons on my arm. It's
He
formal.
has dragons, guys. So
It's
formal. Go on.
Dates for marriage.
Did you date for marriage?
I'd give me a tick for that, because I'm a long-term dater.
You are a
I'm
long-term
not
dater.
someone that short-term dates for
That is
just
very
for like
true.
whatever. So I'm a long-term
That is true.
lover, as they say.
It has been 10 years.
It has been 10
It doesn't
years.
feel like it though.
Loves his mother.
He loves his mom a
Tick.
bit too much.
Tick.
He's a bit of a mama's boy.
Intellectually stimulating.
When he wants to be.
Tick.
When he's not being
Tick.
silly.
Romantically old-fashioned. Tick.
Tick, I would say
Tick.
so.
Can handle heavy labor.
Tick.
Tick. Exercises. Beh.
If you count skateboarding. If
All right.
going on the
BR
skateboard,
BRB.
the drug dealer is
Then
here.
yeah, you figure out
I'll
how many points I got, and then you figure out if I've
in the
won or not.
chat. Okay. Can support our whole family. Working towards it. He's working towards it. Will lead his family to God. Will lead his family to Satan. More like, I'm the one who will lead us to God. Wants kids. He's wishy-washy on that. Sometimes he's like, yeah, it's a great idea. I totally want to get you pregnant. And then sometimes he's like, no, I don't want children. I feel like all men are like that, though. Cares for animals. Yes, he does deeply. Only has friends of similar characteristics. Yeah, most of his friends are audio nerds, just like him. So he scores more points on the ideal man than I do on the ideal woman chart, because I am clearly just a harlot. Clearly, yeah. Hang on, I'm looking at the chat. 2 seconds. Just pulling it up. Sorry, I look at it on my phone. The West, someone says the West decaying, symbolic, and literally faster than the speed of light. Very true. There is something decaying in the symbolic realm for sure. Like, I'm not quite sure how to explain it or conceptualize it as of now, but I'm thinking about what's going on, and it is scary, and I do think it is something you should try to avoid as much as possible, because I think even if you are strong-minded, I think all of us are kind of unconsciously vulnerable to these sorts of memes and the ways they make us analyze ourselves and other people, and the ways they encourage us to do that tend to not be very healthy as well. So yeah, I don't know. Hang on, let's have a look. Someone says, yay, finally made it to a live stream. Yes, welcome. Our numbers are slowly increasing each week, which I've noticed, and I'm very grateful for. So thank you all for coming. J. George says, if I'm ever at Coachella, I don't care. I'm playing a free jazz set to a bunch of bourgeoisie whites on Xannies. Why not? Why not just like seize the moment to display your art for the horrible Philistine bourgeoisie attendees?
So did I win?
Did you get it? You did win.
I think I soundly won.
You soundly fucking won. You soundly beat me.
Double the score.
With flying colors. With flying colors. Is there any way we can pull the chat up on the screen so I don't have to look on my phone?
You would think that I would know how to do that.
Yeah.
But
Mr. Tech Man, Jesus.
Bingo bongo.
Bingo.
There you go.
There we go. There we go. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, the whole, we were talking about the whole meme thing. Yeah. I don't know. Do you feel there are any memes that encapsulate you? Have you ever felt called out by a meme? Do I feel called out by the Wifejack meme? A little bit. I think every woman does to an extent.
I don't think I like.
But in a wholesome way.
I don't think I really resonate with a meme.
You don't see yourself in any.
I'm not like,
meme.
oh, that's me. Like, that's cringe.
You never see one that's like hurt your feelings.
The only time I look at memes is when I'm on the toilet.
And then you send them to me.
Yeah, and then
they were like in the same building.
and then it's mostly like that couple on Facebook that do like comedy about being a couple, basically,
Yeah.
and the things that each other would do to irritate each other. Basically.
Silly things. I felt called out by memes. I don't want to say them because I don't want to arm people with mimetic ammunition to hurt my feelings. But I've definitely felt called out by memes.
I have noticed that as well. That's been the sort of thing with a recent wave of comedians or whatever. And it's not to say they're bad or anything. Like, I quite enjoy some of their videos. Like, there's the two examples I can think of is there's this American guy who now lives in Germany.
Yeah.
He does a great impression of Germans.
Yeah.
And all the typical German things that Germans do, which is funny.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that kind of like, oh yeah, I can send this to my buddy because we're German or something, and we relate to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily actually like a joke. It's more like it's observational humor that's like really direct to their own life, basically.
Yeah.
There's like some other girl I think is also American in some way, or I'm not sure, I haven't heard her actual real voice, but all she does is basically impressions of her German mum.
Wow.
And that's like blown up, gone viral and whatever.
Wow.
And so now she does tours and she goes on tour, and I'm like, that's not a whole bit, man. That's
like
not like
ruined.
a whole. That's not like a whole woman show.
No.
Is you pretending to be your German mum? So like sort of yeah. There's a thing missing there, and I think it's the same. It's the same with music.
Big time.
Where like there was someone did a video where they were showing like this kid trying to
shallowness.
Be like a edgy pop punk guy.
Oh yeah,
or whatever,
that was
right?
on Twitter like a couple weeks ago.
And it was being super cringe. Yeah. And everyone was like ripping him apart. And then he did some video of like, oh, well, if I wasn't cringe, none of you would look at me or like paying attention to me.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, okay, well, you leaning into this thing to such an extent that it's cringe has garnered you attention.
Yeah.
But does it make good music? And at the point of like, what were you doing this for? Were you doing this because you wanted to make good music, or were you doing this because you wanted a load of attention?
Yeah.
Because you've achieved one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now you
Yeah.
seem fairly happy to continue just doing that bit.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of addresses actually the sort of maybe it's like, to be just really cynical, it's literally like just the actual reason and motivation behind human beings is becoming more laid bare with the more technology and ways we have to express ourselves and all of that kind of thing.
That's
right?
a dark thought.
And so it is like, we were watching that thing today about like in China,
Mm-hmm.
even that kind of thing has infested them, where there was that whole posturing of like, oh no, China's still great, all their people graduate college and they want to be scientists, and this kind of things. Like, well, the figures come out now, 60% of them want to be streamers.
Yeah.
And you go to past bridges and there's literally entire bridges where every single available bit of pavement is set up with people sat down on the
Streaming.
bridge streaming in some variety.
Yeah.
And so, and then you ask them why they want to do that, and they go, well, because I could become famous for like 2
Yeah.
or 3 years
Attention
and
is
make enough
currency
money to just live the rest
forever.
of my life. And
Yeah.
I'd much rather do that than work some fucking job or
Shit
something.
job, yeah.
And it comes down to like the fucking raw motivations behind what someone wants to do. Well, they just want to live,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
Most people just want to live.
Yeah.
They don't want to try and advance the fucking field of physics or whatever the fuck it might be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever your interest could be, trying to find. For me, it's always been trying to like seek this new sound, to try and like figure something out with music or whatever.
You sound like Vince in the Mighty Boosh.
Maybe,
You're like, I'm looking for the new sound.
but maybe, but it's also it is a little bit like that. It's to find a musical expression that is not super based in something already.
Yeah.
And that's like a really hard thing to do.
incredibly hard to do.
But
Jay George says that he relates to the Doomer Wojak. I relate to the Doomer girl Wojak for sure.
should we go through the Wojak alphabet, because
no,
that might give me
please,
some
no.
idea
No,
of which Wojaks I suit on.
no, because you're just gonna use it to bully me. Which is you will. You're gonna use it to bully me, which is why I don't want to go on.
So,
I don't want to be bullied. What the fuck is this website right now? Just type in different Wojaks or something. I don't know.
where's that sound coming?
I don't know. Our flat is haunted. There we go. Found it. Found it.
Wojak Mike Myers.
Well, they can't see what we see. You have to share the screen.
Oh wait, have we
Yeah.
got? Oh fuck.
You have to share the screen.
Oh fuck.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I accidentally launched a PlayStation 2 emulator.
Oh, God.
Let's close that. There we go.
Technical difficulties. What are we
close that.
doing? Yeah, there we go.
Wojak Mike Myers. Why is that even a thing? I don't get that at all. So this
I
is
think
the
you're on the...
stage 5.5 Doomer. Is this what you resonate with,
I
Jay
do
George?
resonate.
I
I
mean,
resonate with that one.
that's pretty
hard.
unhinged, dude. That's like Fallout Doomer level. That's crazy.
I do like the Wojak cat feels in bed one. I resonate with that one.
Dark Wojak, light grey. Okay. The pink Wojak, soy boy crying. This is the one I resonate with. We found it.
This was you when the stupid fucking Fallout show came out.
It was. Oh no, this was me when the Fallout show came out.
It literally was. It literally was you when the Fallout show came out. Okay, enough Wojaks. We have 2 more topics to get through.
I'm sure we can find one that's you. Here
I'm
we go.
I'm the soy girl Wojak.
Here we go. Okay.
A pink
Well,
Newton.
I guess the next chunk is our little AI chunk of this week, isn't it?
Yes.
And it is. I can't play you the music, obviously,
because we don't want to get copyright jailed.
Because David Gilmour's wife will come and fucking chop my balls off.
She doesn't seem like a very nice lady.
Fleece me for all the money I have.
He chose wrong.
But basically, Pink Floyd did a music video contest. to make new music videos for YouTube for Dark Side of the Moon, for the 50th anniversary of Dark Side of the Moon. And they've only recently unveiled them. And most of them are great, but then there's this one that looks a bit odd and looks a bit off. And a lot of people caught it out immediately that it is AI generated.
Yeah.
And that there were a bunch of really incredible submissions done for this track that were like some like hand animated even, not just like other kind of like, video footage or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's play it and you can see kind
what
of
they chose.
I mean, I can accomplish this with software that I have a subscription to today.
It's
I can literally, I mean, I have a music video which does not look too dissimilar to this.
Do you want to show the?
Yeah, I'll pull up my one as a little.
But
aside.
why? My question is why? Like, was it like a boomer mistake? Did they see this and not know it was AI and choose it, or did they choose it with the full knowledge of the fact that it's AI generated?
I have absolutely no idea, man. If I'm honest, I mean, I
don't know what's been going on with them in general. To be honest, they've just kind of been bitching at each other and like making all these odd decisions and like.
I don't know if they
It's just
included one
weird.
AI one even just to like stir ruckus and make like press, because it's also
Perhaps.
like a potential in these days and ages.
Yeah. True.
Like just the 50th anniversary of the greatest album ever made, arguably, is like not enough
True.
music news. So there needs to be like some other kind of thing
Controversy
wrapped around
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah.
And having like this sort of competition
It's
where
so
now there's
shit.
an AI one.
Do you want to
curls
pull
a lot
up
of
your
stuff.
one?
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what the song was called. What was it? Gateway Experience.
You did something like similar to this in like how many hours or whatever with no time at all. And the fact that there were artists who like spent painstaking hours like animating a music video for Pink Floyd and they chose this. I wonder why they made that decision. It just seems like really bizarre.
Yeah, it
And
is
dystopian.
It is a very
Incredibly dystopian. Like, what is this timeline that we are currently in right now? It's like freaking me out. Hang on. Yeah, Roger and David do hate each other like massively.
Here we go.
It's sad.
So this is the one I did. I did this.
The other one's like marginally better than yours.
I
But
did this 8 months ago. So this was
you should
using.
have submitted it to Pink Floyd, dude.
Well, yeah. I mean, I could, and this is literally just using a simple tool that you can use online, basically, and it moves along to my music in a little bit more of a rhythmic way than the
You can
other
play
one
your
does.
music because you won't get
Oh, I
copyright.
can play my
You won't
music,
get
can't I? Yeah.
copyright.
There you go. So like, and it's basically just like prompted with 3 different pieces of AI video and then edited together and color graded, basically. So yeah, you can knock it together really quickly. But you know what? I'm someone that does shit in my bedroom.
Yeah.
So it's okay for me to kind of use this kind of stuff because that's almost kind of exactly who it's built for.
Yeah.
It's not built for
Pink fucking Floyd.
Pink
Like,
Floyd.
what the fuck, dude? Like,
I think it's also kind of cheeky in some way that like because there's that whole thing is that it's like is your winning exposure bonus.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's your Pink fucking Floyd. And so now yes, it's this nice thing where everybody yes is a big fan of Pink Floyd and wouldn't it be great to have worked with them and put a fucking video together with them or whatever or for them or something. But then it's like, yeah, dude, but then what do you actually get for that?
Yeah, true. It seems like Pink Floyd has betrayed the Butlerian Jihad now as well.
I would be interested to know how
it's
many
fucking
people.
sad.
I would be interested to know how many people actually, how many gigs they get off the back of doing a video for Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
If do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like what that would even mean.
Yeah, it's sad. It's really weird. And like, yeah, just those 2 like pieces of music news this week, like the disaster of Coachella, seeing Damon Albarn begging for his flowers, seeing Pink Floyd goofing like this. It just it's been a bit of a blow to the nuts of music fans this week.
Didn't even get to the cool bit of my one. Hang on. This is just the intro. Because I did this whole bit that was basically then prompted with Mobius as the main inspiration for the art and stuff. So it just like zooms through this crazy like Mobius styled art city.
It does kind of look like Mobius.
Yeah, I think they got Mobius dead on with loads of it that comes through. It's incredible. And this was a long time ago as well. This was like 8 months ago or so. Oh, even longer than that actually. I must have made this a year ago. And it, you know, I then put it up like 4 months afterwards or something. Dude, that style is Mobius 100%. It's like absolutely crazy. And it's just some goofy shit with these fucking Dragon Balls and shit.
Dragon Balls.
You know, yeah, it's just like, you know, it's fun, it's funky, and I think it's great for like people where you're like, yeah, you're a solo artist or whatever, and you're doing your own stuff, and you haven't got fucking money to invest in making a whole fucking video or getting someone to do that, or you don't have the patience to learn a whole bunch of fucking skills, because, man, I've tried to do that as well, and I've developed a whole bunch of skills that aren't anything to do with like making music.
But I mean, there's only so much you can
because I
get.
make music.
There's only so much you can get away with it with though. You were lucky that it gave you that sort of Mobius aesthetic, because like J. George says in the chat, he says something about the AI aesthetic is very cheesy and in its fake idea of psychedelic and experimental, and I agree. One of the things that I hate about AI generated content is that it has a very kind of overly polished, weird uncanny valleyness to it that, you know, if you're like an independent artist and you're just trying to do something, then why not? But like for the likes of Pink Floyd to be doing that is really disappointing and dystopian, like I said.
Even like in my I think even just for stuff like I use the AI video generation for like the background of my music stream and stuff like that. I think stuff like that's genius. Like I don't see anything wrong with video or image like creation and using it creatively. But if you are someone that it would be like if Grimes did that.
She might as well have, to be honest.
But do you know what I mean?
She might as well have.
Someone that's like a front-leading artist, current, that's releasing new music today, that has like whatever fucking label behind her, that is playing a massive slot at Coachella, that then chooses to just pocket all like the money and just use a fucking AI video. Yeah. That's like no creative ambition or whatever.
None
the fuck.
at all.
For me, this is like out of budget limitations and whatever else, right? Time and budget limitations.
Of course. Well, moving on to our next little chunk for the evening before we round out. Another cool AI tool has emerged that we wanted to show off and experiment with.
Well, everybody talks about kind of the video, even I was just doing it, right? Like the video creation side and the image creation side of all this AI technology, because I think we're just inherently visual creatures, and so we're always going to be visually led, you know, in culture and by whatever. So that's why no one's really been focusing on the audio side of things, which I've had a fairly decent amount of experience with, because there's been some really interesting software that basically demixes a stereo file, so you can do some really deep remixing and all sorts of really funky stuff with it, so it can separate all the different stuff out.
Well, with this, basically you can basically type in any vibe, any sort of musical genre, any sort of musical mashup that you could possibly want, and it gives you something along those lines. And at first I was skeptical, because I was kind of like, it's going to sound like terrible MIDI rubbish. But it gives you, it doesn't give you a full song, but it gives you something that you could then eventually build into something or develop on in a way, which I think is cool. I don't see anything wrong with using this sort of software. So yeah, you just type in like a few keywords and it gives you, you can't type in artists, and you can't type in, any sort of, because there's obviously like copyright issues. You can't type in like songs or anything in particular, but you can type in like pretty much anything that comes to mind, and it will generate you a little track. The ambient jungle one that you did the other day was pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, the reason I was saying about the AI separation software, because this in itself is like not really useful. Like it's not, like you can't do anything
Yeah.
with this. With a shitty sounding E piano
Yeah,
and like
no,
a ropey sounding like drum kit, and it all sounding like MP3 quality,
Yeah.
bad shit in like
Yeah.
2005. You can't do anything with that. But what you do have is someone just typing 3 words, it really accurately giving you the vibe of those 3 words.
Mm-hmm.
And then in combination with the other software that I was trying to talk about before, you kind of pinched me and rushed me out
Yeah,
of
because
like
you were like
explaining it.
spurging it.
I wasn't
And
spurging.
audio spurging.
I'm not. I'm
which I have to listen
explaining.
to.
Well, because I'm explaining how the technology
fine,
works.
go on, go on.
Because that's kind of inherent to why it's interesting
Okay,
and cool.
go on.
Fucking hell.
Okay, whatever.
Is that it will now take this stereo piece of music, as shitty as it sounds, and separate it out into all of its different components.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the bass line, you have the drum pattern, you have the keyboard chords, you have even the melody that the saxophone is doing, and you have all of those things individually. That AI software, separate from this, then even breaks out what those notes are, what the MIDI is, what all of this other stuff is. So it completely makes this moldable in any way that you'd want. You can now take Miles Davis's saxophone solo, get the MIDI from it, and run it through a Moog. Like you can, and with all the kind of expression and all of that kind of stuff actually baked into the information within it. So there's all sorts of crazy possibilities. But as you said, I think they've taken the really correct method with this sort of generation idea, where you can't say, oh, I want Daft Punk and Taylor Swift type music, and then it generates you this sort of obscene, chimeric
Digital monstrosity.
out of those 2 artists, because
Yeah.
it won't reference anything
Yeah,
that is a known public figure or something
anything
like that.
Because of copyright issues. It's the same thing with Sora and some of the questions that were raised when Sora kind of came on the scene is like, where are you getting your footage from? What are you mashing together?
And I'm sure that there's like in the same vein where yes, you like the Taylor Swift video content that came out, right?
Which one are you talking about? Oh, the porn stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
like someone can build their own AI and generate their own craziness, and sure. But if you're someone that is a layman that isn't going to set up their own Linux servers and all this fucking like crazy technical stuff, then yeah, you're probably going to go onto Google's thing. And you're going to be able to type in a little few things and be able to generate some stuff.
Well,
and it's not going to hurt anybody either. Like, I don't see the kind of why, like, what you think that's just as that's bad because they wouldn't go to some library and buy some like licensed music. Or something?
The reason I was rushing you before you rudely interrupted me is because I want to experiment with it. I want to fucking play with it.
Well, go on then.
In the chat as well. Give me some vibe words, give me some keywords, and I'll create a chat curated melody. But first of all, I want to do my own melody.
Okay.
What do I like? Synth. Do you have to put a comma or
No?
Oh, whatever. Synth pop. I don't know. Can I type Bjork?
No, that's the whole fucking point. You have to actually, like, in the same way, like with Midjourney, you have to use your cinematic language and your camera language to tell the thing what you want. So the more cinematic and camera language you have as a filmmaker or as an artist or as a someone
shiny.
As someone with art history knowledge and stuff like that, the better you're going to be able to get prompts and do all of those kinds of things. It's the same with music. What if you just go, I want Taylor Swift, but electronic and different. I want Taylor Swift, but if she sung like Lana Del Rey, like that's not going to work.
Glitter. Happy. There we go. Here we go. Okay,
Glitter happy.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm not sure it picks up
Generate.
on things like happy. I remember
I'm sure it
I
does.
remember typing in beautiful once and it didn't register.
See, it did. It did.
Oh,
it
it
does.
got-
It generated
oh,
it. It did
okay.
it. It did it. Did it.
Maybe
Did
beautiful is a bit too abstract for it to understand how to react that into music. I
Go on
guess.
then. Generate me.
I'll do another little ambient jungle one and see if it does it again. See if it does a good job.
Go
So
on.
I was able
then.
to basically rip off the fucking little keys and stuff. From it.
I like it.
This sounds terrible.
It's cute.
This does sound like terrible.
Well, it's what I had in my head anyway.
Okay.
So,
There you
but it's similar to what I was expecting it to spit out, which is quite like surprising and weird. Okay, let's do a chat one now. Let's do a chat one now. Jay George says, "Free jazz, Brazilian funk, shoegaze."
Go on then.
Lol. Okay, let's try. Let's give that a try.
Oh, you can do I'm feeling lucky as well. Can you just see what it
Okay.
spits out?
Free jazz. Discount chromatics.
What?
Jay George is the Chromatics, that band. You
Oh right. I don't know.
Sorry,
that
free
band.
jazz. What is it? Brazilian funk. Oh. Brazilian funk shoegaze. Generate me some weird shit.
This is Google's Music FX, by the way. If you like,
Yeah,
wanna
if you
use
want to
it yourself.
experiment, you're on your own. It's
And check it
Google's
out.
music effects.
And
It's
yeah,
a lot of fun.
the other software I was talking about, there are a few different ones that can do that sort of thing as well. The one I've been using is called RipX, and you'd have to fucking pay for it every month, which is why I like that one. We couldn't create what you've asked for. Please read our
Oh
FAQ.
no, you broke
prompts.
it, Jay George, with your
Well,
terrible prompts.
It's rearranged something. We couldn't create what you've asked for. Interesting.
You broke it.
Okay.
The genres were too disparate. You couldn't. It
Well,
couldn't do it.
Let me see.
You do one.
I
Hang
can
on. The
pick up
keyboard's
one.
in like a weird fucking position.
That's right, mate. It's wireless. You just pick it up. Whoosh.
There you go. Hang on. I'm looking at the chat. Someone said, I don't know if Pink Floyd were ever part of the Butlerian Jihad, at least without Sid. Jodorowsky pieced out after meeting them for Dune. So true. Jodorowsky said that meeting them left a bad taste in his mouth. In the documentary about Dune, he went to meet them at Abbey Road Studios. Yeah.
It recognized N64 as a prompt word.
Oh shit, it did?
Yeah,
Oh,
I was kind of 50-50 if it would actually understand. There you go.
You did a good job. I mean, there's some melodies in there that you can do something with, but yeah. You get the gist of the kind of thing that it is. It literally sounds like Nintendo 64. Like the music in like the Wii menu or something. Grimes tried to do a drum and bass set as well at the Coachella set that she did, and it was terrible.
Yeah, her new album's a nightcore thing, which is like a fucking internet version of breakcore or whatever. That's the
Oh,
only
yeah.
thing. That's like, it feels like the only thing that was progressing was sort of like,
It literally sounds like it could be an Animal Crossing. Wow. like make songs for me.
And that's not
to walk
even,
to.
and what you've heard there as well, that's not even just like an 8-bar loop or something. That is a full melodic phrase. You can hear there's like a total change within the chords, the way the melody is. It's like not a loop. It is a 30-second composition, which I think is really, really interesting.
Well, my advice is instead of like going to Coachella,
Vibes.
just like make your own vibes.
Well, yeah,
make
you
your
can.
own vibes.
You can big
You
time.
can now. You just make your own private Coachella.
And so, yeah, if anybody else is a music producer and you understood any of the gobbledygook I was just fucking chatting about with MIDI and all the other shit with AI and the software, definitely like check this stuff out. Because it's very, very powerful. I actually used it to do a remix of Zach Fox at the end of last year as well.
Yep.
It's Cocktail D&B. There you go. There's a good way of describing it as well.
Wow. To round out for the evening, we have one last announcement.
Oh yeah, one more thing.
Which is the winner of Movie Club. So for those of you who don't know, we have we have a book club, but we are now transitioning to a movie club. We thought it'd be fun to take a little bit of a break from reading and watch some movies together. So last weekend we voted on a bunch of movies, and there is finally a winner, which we're going to announce now, and we're going to show the trailer for it. And if you would like to join us in our discussion on this great film, which we've mentioned many times on the show before, then you can join us on Patreon. We're going to be meeting next Sunday in our Discord, which you can get access to by joining Patreon, to discuss without further ado.
To chat about it, not to watch it
Not
together.
to watch it together.
Because we decided that if we were watching it, they're probably all going to be quiet as we're trying to watch it.
Yeah, and it'll be too long. It'll be too long to watch and discuss something. So we're going to watch it over the week in your own time.
Yeah, and then we're just going to chat about it on Sunday, basically.
On Sunday we'll meet and like for an hour chat about it.
And the winner was...
We Live in Public, which we're going to show you the trailer for.
And now you'll get the thing, because I think I did make the joke last episode of like, oh, well, I'm just going to pick, and I wanted to pick We Live in Public. And so now everyone's going to have to wonder if democracy's real or not, just like in real life.
Just like in real life, so you know. So We Live in Public is the winner, and that's the one that we're going to be watching. And we'll also let you know where you can stream it at the end, but here's the trailer.
The internet's like this new human experience. At first, everybody's going to like it, but there will be a fundamental change in the human condition. One day, we're all going to wake up and realize that we're just servants.
I think it's genius because nobody had done it yet.
He was saying this is the way it's going to be. And he was right. I mean, he was right.
And he was selling companies for a couple $1 million. Well, we were all a bunch of kids getting paid $10 an hour to try and figure out HTML.
Josh was one of these incredible new idols everybody suddenly wanted to be.
I'm in a race to take CBS out of business.
He was always trying to advance the inevitable. This is going to happen. Let's try it now.
People want 15 minutes of fame every day.
So we built a bunker and showed them the future.
I'm an alligator. I'm a mama, papa coming for you.
We're going to record Stasi-type intelligence.
The cameras were everywhere. There was cameras set up in the showers and the toilets.
Is there anything graphic on the TV?
They're eating and shitting and having sex in public, and people ate it up.
Keep your electric on me, babe.
This was one of the most extraordinary activities I've ever attended anywhere in the world. Really, the question starts to become, who is behind this? What's going on?
I heard someone tell me that they were rolling around in a fucking pod.
Shut up, I'm talking!
It was just a crazy and somewhat dangerous scene because you knew that someone was going to flip out.
She grabbed my throat. 6, 5,
Basically, all hell broke loose.
Everything that he does is a precursor to something that is going to happen to all of us. Everything.
Freak out in a moon age daydream, oh yeah.
Bosh.
Cool. So, We Live in Public is basically like the canary in the coal mine, to the culture that we currently have now, which is why we talk about it so much.
Yeah. It was the first streamer house.
Yeah, it was the first streamer house, basically. And this is one of my favorite documentaries, just hands down. It's so much fun. If you're feeling nostalgic for that Y2K era,
A great story.
it's definitely a brilliant story, and it's so chaotic and wild and a lot of fun, and there's so much material to discuss. So if you want to be part of that discussion, join us on Patreon. The link is in the description. You will get a link to our Discord on Patreon, and you can have access to the meetings there. And don't worry, if you can't join us on Sunday, our clubs are always recorded, so you can always get the recorded version. So yeah, looking forward to watching that. And yeah, if you're already a Patreon, where can you stream Live in Public again?
On Plex, I think it was.
It's
I can't
on.
remember.
Oh no, it was on Amazon as well.
Oh yeah,
in America.
yeah.
In America, if you're in America, you can get it on Amazon. And if you have any issues getting it, message me in the Discord, and I will help you get it somehow. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching us tonight. It has been a fun show.